Tenant selection. Why is it so important? I'm going to walk you through one of the most important decisions you'll ever make as a rental property owner, selecting the right tenant. Let me share some of the processes we use at Citysearch. Choosing the right tenant isn't simply about filling a vacancy, it's about protecting your asset. It's about stabilizing your cash flow and creating a long term, stress free tenancy. And while it may be tempting to rush the process, especially when a property is sitting vacant, the risks of placing the wrong tenant far outweigh the temporary loss of a month's rent. So let's break down what a proper tenant selection process looks like and why it matters. Firstly, I'd like to say that we can screen for a lot of things. However, there are a few things that we can't screen for, like marital strife, job loss, job relocation, sickness, and death. So the process starts with a mindset. You're selecting a resident, not accepting an application. Many owners view the tenant selective process as being a passive process. An application arrives, the information looks acceptable, and then they proceed. But professional management flips that perspective. So you're not just accepting tenants, you're choosing them. This means being intentional, structured, and consistent in your approach. Next follows the comprehensive screening, which goes far beyond just collecting a name and a number. A truly effective screening process should be multi layered. Our process at CitySearch, for example, is much more than a credit check. A robust screening process includes identity verification, full credit bureau review, employment and income confirmation, debt to income analysis, credit utilization, past rental history with direct landlord verification, an assessment of rentability and lifestyle fit, and any behavioral and communication indicators. The goal here is to gain a complete picture, not just whether the applicant can pay rent, but whether they will be reliable, responsible, and respectful of your property. The rule of thumb is that a tenant's gross salary or gross monthly rent should not exceed 30% of their gross monthly income. I said that kind of backwards, but I think you understand what I'm saying. So let me repeat that. The rule of thumb is that a tenant's gross monthly rent should not exceed 30% of their gross monthly income. Next, you need to understand the rentability profile. We don't just screen tenants, we assess the rentability score. This is a structured rating system based on various risk factors: financial strength, stability, and tenancy history. This provides objective, data driven insight into how the applicant is likely to perform as a resident. It's the difference between guessing and knowing. Then matching the tenant to the property. A great tenant on paper may not be the right tenant for the specific property. For example, a downtown executive might be an excellent renter, but not necessarily suited for a large suburban family home. The best placement is achieved by aligning lifestyle with the property type, household size with space, work location with commute, expectations with condominium rules and regulations, and also pet considerations. The alignment dramatically reduces friction, turnover, and wear and tear. It's important to verify, don't just assume. In today's environment, you cannot rely on self reported information alone. Everything must be verified. Employment letters confirmed, income cross checked, landlord references validated, ID matched to the application, and public records reviewed. I think that's a good one. And yes, sometimes landlords, this is a funny one, but it's true. Sometimes landlords provide reference as their reference are their friends posing as their past owner. A trained property manager typically can spot these inconsistencies. Watch for behavioral red flags. I personally believe in the red flag theory. Beyond paperwork and numbers, tenant behavior during the application process can reveal a great deal. Are they responsive and respectful? Do they provide complete information readily? Do they ask thoughtful questions? Are there any inconsistencies between what they say and what the documents reveal? A tenant who is evasive now, difficult, or disorganized, especially during the application stage, is rarely easier once they move in. The next step we love to do when we can is the in home visit. For higher end properties or long term tenancies, an in home visit where the tenant currently or the applicant currently is residing at is one of the strongest predictors of how they will care for your property once they become your tenant. It provides a visual confirmation of cleanliness, organization, maintenance attitudes, respect for the property they currently occupied. We feel that this step is truly invaluable. Then the move in condition baseline. Great tenants start with great documentation. A detailed inspection with photos and notes sets clear expectations and establishes accountability for the duration of the tenancy. Proper onboarding after that sets the tone. Like once approved, the next step is the onboarding process, clear communication of rules, expectations around maintenance. Important to let them know how to report maintenance, whether it's routine or emergency. Understanding condominium bylaws, should the property be a condominium, and an explanation of rental payment processes, how to pay rent, when to pay rent, and so on. Emergency procedures, and an introduction to support systems like we use an AI assistant called Max to accept maintenance requests. Qualified tenants thrive when they know exactly what is expected. The true goal, the long term goal, is a long term, low touch, high value tenancy, is what we are all trying to achieve. The ultimate outcome of a strong tenant selection: fewer complaints, minimal maintenance issues, the property is respected and preserved, predictable rental income, low turnover, and just a better overall investment performance. A great tenant is an asset in themselves. In closing, selecting the right tenant is not just luck, it's a process refined through experience, structure, and rigorous assessment. Whether you manage your own property or you work with a professional, the message is exactly the same: be thorough, be consistent, and never compromise. Because the right tenant isn't just someone who pays the rent on time, they protect your property, they protect your income, and most importantly, they protect your peace of mind. Till next time, I wish you financial success.